In the last video, we looked at 10 of the most notable games releasing next year, from Final Fantasy XVI to Spider-Man 2. In this video, we'll be looking at 10 more exciting games due to drop next year, and there are some real heavy hitters you'll definitely want to stick around for. Let's check them out. To start, we have Atomic Heart, which was announced all the way back in the middle of 2017. You play as a KGB agent called Sergei in an alternate reality, retro future of 1950s Soviet Russia, where a strange incident takes place at a top secret facility that leads to all machines going rampant. With the use of firearms and a polymeric glove that gives Sergei superhuman-like abilities, you'll tackle the machines and the mystery behind their rampancy. Atomic Heart looks like the amalgamation of BioShock, Metro and Wolfenstein, and I don't know about anyone else, but that sounds like a great mix. It may have gone through development hell, but judging by the gameplay, it seems to have come out the other side with something really special. Next up, we have Team Ninja's latest take on the Souls formula, Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, which tells the story of a militia soldier fighting for survival in the chaotic Three Kingdoms. If you like their previous games, Neo 1 and 2, Wo Long looks to be more of the same in many regards. However, they have introduced a new system called Morale, which both the player and every enemy have. Defeat an enemy with a higher rank than you, and yours will increase faster, with more valuable loot being obtained from enemies. If you die, however, your rank degrades, leaving it up to you to weigh up the risk and reward of each encounter you come across. You'd better make your decisions quickly though, as Wo Long's gameplay is incredibly fast-paced, so you'll have no time for hesitation. With all the controversy surrounding the Star Wars Battlefront games, many had lost faith in EA releasing a good Star Wars title. However, with Respawn Entertainment at the helm, the same developers responsible for Titanfall and Apex Legends, we got a great single-player Star Wars adventure game in 2019. Its sequel, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, continues the story of Cal Kestis 5 years later. No longer a Padawan but a fully fledged Jedi Knight, he continues to try and stay ahead of the Empire's quest to rid the galaxy of the remaining Jedi. EA finally showed off the game at the Game Awards, displaying some truly impressive visuals, greater combat options such as dual-wielding lightsabers, and new Force abilities, which you'll need to take full advantage of to defeat all the formidable enemies he'll come across. Gotham Knights may not have lived up to expectations, but Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League just might. Unlike Gotham Knights, this game is set in the popular Arkham universe, and with almost all the main DC heroes brainwashed by Brainiac, including Superman and Batman, it's up to villains like Harley Quinn to sort things out. You can play solo or online with others. If you play solo, you can freely switch between those of the Suicide Squad, and it's completely drop in, drop out, so friends can freely come and go without affecting your experience. Suicide Squad isn't releasing on last-gen consoles, so there should hopefully be no 30 FPS only limitations that caused so much controversy with Gotham Knights earlier this year. Street Fighter is one of gaming's most recognisable and classic series, and while Street Fighter IV was a huge hit, 5 made a number of decisions that made it sink harder than the Titanic. Capcom is back in the fight, however, to show what the series is still capable of. There are 3 core modes: Fighting Ground, which has all the modes you have in 5, Battle Hub, which is exactly what you'd expect, a hub for players to come together, talk, have fun and deck out their avatars, and then there's World Tour, which is a single player story experience with free roaming, mini-games and more. With these 3 core modes, it looks like they really understand what they need to provide, so every type of fighting game fan can really enjoy it. Wo Long isn't the only Souls-like game coming next year, as we're also getting something very reminiscent of Bloodborne in the form of a title called Lies of P. Lies of P is essentially telling its own version of the story of Pinocchio as he fights his way through a dark, cruel world to find Geppetto and become human by lying, which is a system that will play a lot of importance. Considering From Software have been reluctant to make a Bloodborne 2, it's great to see another developer attempting to fill that void, and so far they look like they're absolutely nailing it with tight combat, brutal boss fights, and a ton of lore to delve into. Originally due this year, Starfield is the next big game from Bethesda, who you'll no doubt be familiar with as the developers of Elder Scrolls and Fallout. While it's fair to say that Starfield is essentially the same as those series but with a space theme, Bethesda are aiming for No Man's Sky level of exploration, giving you over 100 systems and over 1,000 planets to explore. You'll be able to customize your character and ship right down to the most granular of details to make your next adventure uniquely your own. There's no denying it's one of, if not the most ambitious game of next year. The only question that remains is whether they can pull it off or not. A lot of people had written off Final Fantasy VII Remake after news broke that the story would be split between multiple games and changed in a number of ways, yet when it released it was a huge critical and commercial success. At the end of next year, Part 2 is due to be released, and after the ending of the first one, there's going to be a lot of surprises that will have massive repercussions. Whereas the first one was set entirely within the confines of Midgar, they leave to explore the world on an unknown journey after defying their fate. There's a lot of big titles coming next year, but this is no doubt going to be up there with the best of them. When Telltale went defunct back in 2018, it seemed like the chance of ever seeing The Wolf Among Us 2 getting released were dashed. However, with Telltale's revival in 2019, the game was given a second chance. Based on the comic series called Fables, the sequel takes place 6 months after the ending of the original, with a new case threatening the future of the Fable community, with your choices shaping the story. The original was arguably Telltale's best work, thanks to its gritty murder mystery plot and its unique take on popular Fable characters. The long-awaited entry doesn't need to do anything different, but give us more of the same, and it's sure to be a winner. And last but not least is Crash Team Rumble. While Crash 4 It's About Time reviewed pretty well, it didn't sell well, which left some fans worried about the future of the series. Thankfully, Activision aren't finished with Crash just yet, bringing us a 4v4 multiplayer game where good and evil battle each other to capture more Wumpa fruit than the other team to win. It's far from a traditional entry, but as Crash Team Racing and Crash Bash have shown us, the series can be great fun when it moves into new genres, and while I'm certain it's not going to be Game of the Year material, I'm interested at the very least to see how it pans out. That's it for Part 2. If you haven't watched Part 1 yet, make sure to go back and check it out. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for a notification each time I upload new content. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you in the next video.